I was a favourite to win. But this is the first time I'm going into a fight where I'm the underdog. I'm a guy who's supposed to get beat, so that's why I want to really shine this fight, and I want to prove to people, this is where I belong. And by putting the weight on, being strong at this weight, it's not slowed the speed down one bit. The speed is still there. The stamina is still going to be there. The punch power is increased, obviously. I've been sparring guys, and they also say that they do feel the power, the strength. But I don't really want to focus on too much of the power, because I don't want it to slow me down, and I don't want to make that mistake where I'm trying too hard to throw a big shot. And so I think what's going to win us this fight is smart combinations, being smart, using the feet well. That's something I have, and just picking the shots at the right time. Not overdoing it at times. Where if you see my previous fights, I overdo it sometimes, because I think that I'm the guy to throw the most punches. I'm the guy to show who the best is. But this time, I'm not going to be making those mistakes. I'm going to be smart. I'm going to stick to a game plan, and I'm not going to make any mistakes.
Is that hard with your warrior mentality? You like to kind of stick in the pocket, and sometimes you might take one too many.
When you're fighting guys who you're supposed to be, then you need that warrior mentality, because you're meant to be the warrior. You're meant to be the guy who's supposed to win. You're meant to be the guy who's supposed to be, winning every round and throwing the most shots and hitting the big power shots. But in this fight, I'm not the guy to go into this fight as a favourite, so I'm going to stick to my game plan. I'm going to do anything to win this fight, and we're going to have to be smart in this fight. We know it's going to be a tough fight, it's not going to be easy, so that's why I can't make the same mistakes as I'm making the previous fights I've had. Whereas in the previous fights, I used to just get stuck in there too much, I used to make mistakes. But this time, I'm going back to the old days when I was, a young fighter, when I picked the shots at the right time. And I think it's great to be an underdog. I mean, that pressure, do all the media stuff and everything is not the same, where I'm just sat back doing all my hard work, all my graft, all my training, whereas Canelo has to do all the media stuff. Let him do it,
Amir, do you feel that when he fought Lara and when he fought Mayweather, the fact that he got outclassed by boxing, that's the style that proved him, and he has probably a slick fighter, that slick style, he's outboxing?
Yeah, Canelo's also a slick fighter. He's got quick hands. A lot of people have problems with him when he moves. If he moves in the right position, when he moves, when someone moves against Canelo, Canelo always has big problems. So he doesn't fight well against movers. That's what we all know. We all seen that against the fight against Lara, against that fight against Floyd Mayweather. And with this fight, he's fighting a guy who's got similar style to Lara and a similar style to Floyd Mayweather, who I move quick. I got good feet. I got power. By going up to 155, I really believe I've got a lot of punch power in that weight. But I'm not going to rely on that. It's the speed that's going to win me this fight.
Who do you think won that Lara fight, and what are you going to do different than Lara?
I think, if you look at Lara, the way Lara fought, Lara's a great fighter. I'm a big fan of his fighting style. And I think Lara would just stay in the pocket a little bit too long and maybe giving free shots to Canelo. Whereas you can't be doing that against Canelo. Canelo's a really good fighter. If you give him that opportunity, he's gonna take it. And I think with Lara gave him too much respect. Where when Lara threw his shots, Lara in a way said, "Hit me back," And I don't think I'll be making those mistakes Lara made. But I still think with Lara making a few mistakes, and I think he knows about those mistakes. I don't think he'll if he was to fight him again, I don't think he'd make those mistakes, and I'm definitely gonna make those mistakes.
Amir, does he look like a fighter with no amateur background? Does he look like a fighter with no amateur background? Basically, he doesn't have one.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. Yeah, Canelo is like an old school, rugged, heavy-handed, professional fighter. So this is a fighter versus a boxer, and yeah, you can see he's not really got that amateur skill level or that experience. So I think that's something that's going to work on my advantage by not having that amateur experience where you have to change different styles, when you have to fight different styles. And I think with me going into this fight, you'll definitely see a new Amir Khan. You're not going to see the old Amir Khan. It was hard for me to motivate myself when I was fighting these other fighters. No disrespect to like Algieri or the other fighters I fought. It's always hard because I was always expecting a big fight against like Mayweather, against Pacquiao, and when those fights are not happening, it was hard for me to motivate myself. And now it's come to a time where it's the biggest fight of my career against someone like Canelo, where I know I can't make a mistake. So this is just such a big motivation for me. That's why I'm not going to let it go easy, man. I'm not going to let it throw it away, because I've always been asking for a big fight, and then my time's come now, so I'm not one to just let it go and get beat. I'm gonna definitely go into this fight and prove to everyone that why I wanted a big fight.
Amir, Victor Ortiz says you're going to win the fight. Andre Ward says you're going to fight. Andre Bruno says you're going to win the fight. B.Y. Jennings says you're going to win the fight. What do you think about all these pro stars saying you're going to win?
You know, it's very hard to, if you look at the fight as an outsider, if you're not a boxer yourself or a fighter, you're going to look at this fight and think, Canelo's got the size, he's got the power, and he's going to hurt Amir. Amir's been down a few times. But then if boxers think about it who have been in the ring, I mean, by me holding that little bit more weight, you know, not killing myself, struggling making the weight, keeping that strength, working on a little bit more power. The speed is natural. When people are saying, you know, by me going up a weight, I'm going to lose that speed, but it's natural. I mean, the speed is still there. And these are boxers who know boxing inside out, who study boxing, who fight as well. So
Victor fought you.
I mean, Victor fought me as well. So styles make fights, and this is a great fight that people can say what they want, but it is going to be fireworks come May 7th, and I really believe that I can win the fight.
What did what's up, by the way?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what did the Cotto Canelo fight tell you about Canelo? Like, what did you see there in terms of like things he did bad?
Canelo, you know, I don't think he utilizes his jab as much as he should. I mean, with Miguel Cotto was throwing that jab all the time, and he was getting a lot of success with that jab. So, I mean, look, it was a good fight for him. You know, end of the day, when you fight, you have to fight against the guy who you got in front of you. So I can't really pick and say, oh, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. He won the fight comfortably. He made a few little mistakes, but then, you know, everyone makes mistakes in fights. But, you know, I know that when he comes to fight me, he's going to be a total different fighter. He's not going to fight like he normally does because, you know, he's fighting a guy who is a mover, who has quick hands, who has speed. So his style and my style and Miguel Cotto's style is totally different. So he's not going to be working. And by me watching that fight, I've seen a few things he does different and does wrong, does Canelo. But I know he's going to change the style. We go into this fight watching Canelo's best performances, watching the best fights where, you know, he knocked out his opponents, he hurt his opponents, and which shots he hurt his opponents with. And I mean, I have to watch those type of fights because I need to make sure that I don't get hit with the same shots. And there's a few, you know, there's a few decoys Canelo gives when he throws a big shot. He does a few. He feints quite well. He throws a feint right hand and throws a big uppercut, and that hook feint and uppercut as well. Because they're little things I've been watching and I've been analysing. But I've got great sparring partners. I mean, just now I've just come from sparring myself today, and I mean, I feel so much stronger and so much happier making this weight. I mean, this is a massive fight for me, and I'm not gonna let it go, man. I'm gonna grab it with both hands, and I'm gonna do everything it takes to win the fight.
Some people feel that he might have lost that Cotto fight. A lot of people in Mexico, they're in the minority, but did you feel he
I thought he won the fight. Yeah, I think he won the fight, so I'm not gonna take nothing away from him. Yeah.
Would you say this is the biggest fight in your career? This is the biggest stage you've been on? All the fights you fought?
Yeah, you know, I've had the chance to fight in big arenas and all around the world, and I think this is probably one of the biggest fights in my boxing career. So yeah, and I'm glad I've had the chance to fight in other big arenas in the UK, for example, fighting in like the MEN arena, and also then going to Wales and fighting there at the Millennium Stadium. So I've had that chance to be in front of thousands of people. So I'm going to be ready for the big stage. It's not gonna scare me one bit. It's not gonna, you know, some fighters freeze, but I don't think I'll be one.
How do you handle all the social media pressure? Because obviously, I'm sure you've seen the memes.
You know, I mean, with social media, you're always going to get people saying good things and bad things. I just really, even the good things, I never really take in. You know, I just do what I have to do. I know there's a lot of people who are saying that I'm not gonna win, I'm not good enough. But you know, that's like a motivation for me. That's only going to push me harder and make me train harder. Even those that are saying good things about me, who think it's a great fight for me and a great win for me, you know, I'm still focused on what I need to do. I'm not letting any of the, you know, social media things and what people are saying get to me, because that can definitely destroy me and it can maybe get me hurt in the fight. I'm gonna go with my own. I believe in myself, and I'm gonna, you know, go into this fight believing in myself and sticking to my game plan. I'm not gonna listen to other people. Everyone has something to say, like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, don't do this, don't do that. But I'm gonna do what I do best, and I've got the right trainer in the corner with me, Virgin, and so I know what to do.
comfortable at this weight. So is your intention to stay at this weight, or do you still want to go ahead and move down to 147?
You know, I can still make the 147 division, but obviously by changing a little bit of my diet, I'll go back down to 147. I can do that. Being the #1 mandatory for the WBC title, I still have that there. So I'd like to go back and fight someone like Garcia one day. But it just depends. Let's see how everything goes on May 7th, and then we can decide what route we take from there.
Were you surprised when Oscar reached out to you guys?
No, Oscar always mentioned the name Canelo to me. He mentioned it a long time ago when I was signed up with Golden Boy, and he said a fight between you and Canelo would be huge because it's two parts of the world, who will be tuned in, and me being a big name in England, Europe, and Middle East and Asia, and him being a huge name in this part of the world, in America and Mexico. He said it'll be a huge fight globally. And when the phone call come and the message come from Oscar, I took a couple of days to think about it because I wanted to watch a couple of fight videos and study it like I was gonna fight Canelo. Before, when I watch boxing, I normally watch it as a fan, but this time I watched it as if I was fighting him, what would I do differently, and how would I fight him if I was to face him. And I saw so many openings, I saw so many ways I can beat Canelo, and that's why I took the fight. I mean, I could have taken another fight in the UK, which was against someone like Kell Brook, or even coming to America and fighting a rematch with Garcia, but this fight for me makes more sense. It's a great time, it's a great weight, so why not? I tried to get the weight a little bit lower to maybe 153, but Golden Boy didn't want to do that.
What do you think about him saying that you wanted it at 155?
I've never fought at 155, so I don't know what to. I don't know why you would say that, but I wanted to fight at probably 153, which was a little bit more natural to me. But look, whatever weight the fight weight is, I'm gonna be bang on that fight weight, and I'm not gonna be any lower or any higher. I'm a professional fighter, and I'm gonna do what I do.
Let me ask you this, Khan. You wanted Mayweather, you wanted Manny Pacquiao, now you have Canelo. How would you compare? If you were to remove the size disparity, would you say this is an easier fight compared to them, a tougher fight? What would you say, style-wise?
I think it's a harder fight. Not because I'm facing him. I think it's a harder fight because stylistically it's a tough fight. You've got Canelo, who's a bigger guy in size. He's naturally stronger. Well, with Mayweather's it would be more of like a boxing fight, more of a game of chess match. Same with Manny Pacquiao. We've always sparred with each other. I know exactly what to expect from Manny Pacquiao, and I've got 100% record against southpaws, even in the amateurs. So I think with this fight against Canelo is a guy who tries to wear you down. But I think that could be his downfall going into this fight, because if he thinks he's going to wear me down and walk onto me with my good legs and stuff, I think he'll be falling onto all the shots. And once we see Canelo get desperate, that's where I think he makes the biggest mistakes. And I saw when he fought against Miguel Cotto, he was getting desperate at times, and that's where he was making big mistakes.
How much do you think Virgil will help you out with this?
Virgil's
training out here in Oakland. He advantage that take the Canelo to the deep waters.
Yeah, for sure. Virgil's a great trainer, and to have someone like Virgil in the corner, and also Andre Ward, Andre Berto, we've got a great camp in Oakland, and it's a very quiet place. It's like second home to me now, and this is what I need. I need to get away from all the distractions. I need to get away from all. The UK, to train in the UK would be impossible because we've got such a big fan following over there. But coming here in Oakland, where I'm not as known, I think is brilliant because I can focus on what I need to do.
You're fighting some of the biggest names in this sport, from Maidana down. Kell Brook is fighting, let's be honest, people that have lost to people he already beat. How could a fight with you and him be so big when you're fighting the much bigger names?
Yeah, exactly. I want to fight the best names in the world, and at the moment Kell Brook doesn't belong there, so that's why that fight didn't happen. So, but if you compare the two names, Kell Brook got with Saul Alvarez, I think it shows where I am fighting the likes of Alvarez and where Kell Brook is.
You could potentially end up being Gennady Golovkin's mandatory. Is that a fight that you're willing to take?
So to think about after the fight. Once I beat Canelo, I think that's when I sit down with my team and see where we go from there. Look, this fight weight being at 155 could be the best weight for me. I've never fought at 155, but I've always sparred at 155 where I've hurt sparring partners, I've knocked sparring partners down. That power's always been there with me. I've always fought at my natural weight, but in the recent years, I used to kill myself making the weight because I think my body just grew and I was just kind of dehydrating myself, and you lose a lot of power by dehydrating yourself. Naturally, this could be the weight for me. I just don't know yet until I go in there. So, I mean, if that fight happens, why not? I mean, look, I'm sure you know from everyone.
Crazy to think about that, right?
You're the smaller guy, but now being toe-to-toe with him in the media conferences, do you still feel like you're a smaller guy?
You know what? I mean, a lot of people said I was going to be small, and I expected Canelo being huge when I walked in to the press conference, and I was bigger than him. I mean, maybe he was a little bit wider than me, but other than that, I was taller than him, and I was as big as him, really. So I didn't really see him being the big monster that everyone says he is. And you know, I'm good at working guys out. When you look at someone's eyes and you can work a guy out. I mean, he's a little bit younger than me, and this is probably one of the first times, like probably the second time, where I'm facing someone a little bit younger than me. Normally, I'm the younger guy. I'm the guy who's top of the bill, or the guy to win, the favorite. But this is the first time I'm fighting someone younger than me, and I'm not the favorite. So this is going to be quite exciting, and it's going to be good. I'm not going to let no young guy beat me, man.
But Amir, why not a rehydration clause? You know, you see how big Canelo gets come fight night, so why not have one?
We mentioned it to the Golden Boy, and they didn't want to do it. They said, look, we don't want to do a rehydration clause, and I was like, look, you know what? Forget. I tried to bring Canelo down in weight. He didn't want to do that.
How much did you want to bring him down?
Probably 153 would have been good. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I wanted to maybe do a rehydration clause. Look, I was happy to give 12 pounds away, and didn't want to do that either. So then I said, you know what? Forget the 155 it is, and forget the rehydration clause, because once I beat him, I want to beat him fair and square, where I don't want no excuses from anyone, Golden Boy or anyone, to say that he was dehydrated or he was not right. So I said, look, I'm gonna fight him the way he feels happy.
You talked about you being bigger than him when you faced off with him. Do you think that surprised him?
I think
towering over him.
Yeah, because when he saw me, I mean, he must have definitely thought, wow, I never expected him to be so big. Look, he's fought other guys smaller. He's fought other smaller guys, and when he stood against me, I look like a natural middleweight myself. I'm very big, and I've got height as well. So I mean, look, I know Miguel Cotto is he fought a middleweight against Canelo, but I think I'm a bit bigger than him as well in size, and he gave him a lot of problems and hurt Canelo at times. Not badly, but did hurt him at times. So this could be Canelo's hardest fight. I mean, physically as well, not only facing a boxer who moves well, but this could be a very good fight.
Opened a new arena, the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm very excited to fight there because I fought at the biggest arenas around the world, and my dream was to fight MGM. I topped the bill there, and fought as an undercard against Collazo when Mayweather fought. So it's going to be great for me to be the first fight at the new T-Mobile Stadium, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. Yeah.
Are you energized with everything, like basically the stack being stacked against you, the deck being stacked against you? Does that re-energize you? In fact, nobody's picking you. You're just the little guy. Nobody's giving you a shot. You're just a little dude coming.
I'm the guy who's supposed to walk in the fight and get beat and get knocked out and whatever. But you know what? This is what kind of I want people to believe that, because once I pull off the upset, it's gonna be a big slap in everyone's face, man. And I want to do that. And I like to be in that position where I am the underdog and I am the guy who's supposed to get beat, and it just makes the story even better when you win.
You have speed, but Canelo does have power.
Yeah.
His power doesn't concern you at all.
No, I've never been scared. Look, I respect his power, and this is the first fight I'm probably going into where I'm respecting. Probably the second fight where I'm respecting the power. When I fought against guys where I got beat, I never respected those fighters like Garcia and stuff. I thought this is gonna be a walk in the park. I'm a better fighter than them. But this fight, I mean, the only fight I respected the guy with power was Maidana. And when you respect and you know exactly what to expect, like for example, like power shots, and you know you can get knocked out with one big shot, then you're on the edge. You work hard. You make sure you don't make any mistakes. Going into this fight against Canelo, I'm gonna be on the edge. I'm gonna be smart. I'm not gonna make any mistakes because I don't want to be on end of one of his big shots. I'm gonna be smart, and I'm gonna be using my skills. Look, I've got the skills. I've got the boxing skills. I've got the speed. Why not use that? Why not utilize what I have, the tools I have? So that's what I'm gonna do.
When people criticize your chin, I mean, what do you say about your chin compared to every other fighter's chin?
The shots I've been knocked down with, I think they will knock down anyone. I mean, they will knock down anyone. Like for example, Garcia caught me with a huge shot, and I was put down, and but every time I've been put down, I've always been on my feet when I've been stopped. I'm not one guy to just lay there like, if you look at so people are gonna say Manny Pacquiao's got no chin. He's been up against the great fighters. I think it's just something that people always want against, kind of want against me and say some things about me to kind of put me down. You know, I never let it get to me. I've always brushed it off my shoulders, and you know, if people don't think I can take a shot, then that's fine. But come May 7, they are going to see fireworks, man, and they're going to see a massive upset.
Did you get to see the Kell Brook victory over Kevin Bezier, and do you think he needs to step up in terms of names like you're doing with Canelo?
I think I've been saying it for a long time. If they want the fight between me and myself and Kell Brook, he needs to definitely up the game. He needs to fight. He's a world champion. I know these back-to-back mandatories and stuff are. He's at his peak of his career where he needs to have these top fights and these big names. He needs to fight these big names. Win or lose, why is he afraid to fight these big names? Because he thinks he'll get beat. I mean, he needs to, one thing about the fight fans love me because I fight guys who even, I don't have to fight. I mean, I'd have to take this fight against Canelo, but I want to give it for the fight fans. I want to give it to the people, prove what position I'm in and what level of a fighter I am. I think Kell Brook needs to do the same. I think he just needs to grow a bit of balls and fight some bigger names, really.
Kell said he'll fight Gennady Golovkin. Do you believe that at 157?
You know what? I do not believe that. Look, I can't believe he even come out with something stupid like that, because that is, I mean, I don't like I'm gonna talk about that, man. I mean, I know he did say that he wants to fight him, and was it him or was it his promoter, Eddie Hearn?
It might have been Eddie Hearn.
But yeah, Eddie Hearn said it. So look, you've got the guy wrapped in cotton wool. You don't want to even put him in a medium of a hard fight, and you saying that you're putting him with someone like Golovkin. Oh, my user brains. I mean, I just think that they're just using my name and names like Golovkin to kind of get his career on a high. Okay, we at the top level of boxing, but fight guys just a little bit, not as big as us. I mean, there's other names out there. Fight guys maybe in the top 10 in the world, and then to see where you belong. Look, he's a good fighter, and I'm sure he can get far. But I just think he's wasting his career. I think his promoters maybe, if it's not Kell Brook, I think it's the promoter that's kind of just keeping him waiting and kind of getting him these easy fights, because as a fighter, you want to fight the best. So if it is Kell, I think he's in the wrong sport than if he doesn't want to fight the best.
Would it surprise you if the night of the fight, Canelo, instead of pressuring you, he ends up trying to box you in the middle of the ring? Would it surprise you?
Yeah, that would be a big surprise if he tries to box me. Yeah, I mean, it would be different. It'd be different, yeah. But would he beat me in a boxing match? I don't think so. I don't think he'll get close to me. But I don't think he. I mean, look, he has a great trainer. His trainers are very good, and I don't think they'll make that mistake.
Because people see him as a pressure fighter, but when you look at his fights, he's really not a pressure fighter. He's more of a counter puncher.
So he can bring anything to the table on May 7. If he wants to put pressure on me, if he wants to run to me, if he wants to box me, we can have answers for everything. So I'm working with a lot of guys who will come forward, guys who run, guys who box, guys who fight. So I'm going to be ready.
What did Canelo say to you when he first met you? Did you guys have any type of personal conversation?
He's a very respectful guy, and I think it's probably one of the first fights I've ever had where both guys respect each other, especially at this big level, at this high level. So I've got nothing bad to say about him. I think he's a great champion, and it's going to be great to be in the same ring as someone like him and take the titles away from him. He's a credit to the sport of boxing, and I think he's not a bad guy. I mean, he's very respectful, and he loves the sport of boxing like I do. So we're both in the sport to be the best.
So you guys didn't talk about anything, though? You didn't talk about anything? Basketball, anything?
No, we didn't get that close, right? We didn't get that personal.
There was some footage of you guys going around. You're playing that. What is it called?
Like a
rock and
boxing. Something like
that. Who won that?
He beat me on that. I let him beat me on that.
Did you see anything different from him in the face-off that may be any kind of concern or any worry in him?
He seemed very calm and chilled. He seemed very calm. I mean, I know his trainers were a little bit more on the edge. I did realize that, like, his trainer was a little bit more on the edge than Canelo. Canelo was really calm, but I think his coaches know that he's going to be in a tough fight.
Can you talk about how you're getting to 155? Are you trying to build up your legs, your core, your shoulders, all of the above?
I have to lose weight, man. I mean, I have to drop down to 155. I've got some weight to lose to get to 155. I mean, I've been working hard, and I've been training hard as well, and having this long break and now kind of trying to cut out a lot of like hard training now. It's like more focusing on the boxing. I think the weight will drop itself. But at the moment, I have to drop a little bit more weight. I have to drop a little bit of weight because naturally I walk around quite a little bit heavier than what most people expect. I mean, I think I've kind of shocked myself as well, being the way I am. I'm not gonna tell you what weight I am, but I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm in decent shape. And
do you feel more muscular?
Nah, not muscular. I don't know what it is, man. I think my body's just growing, man. I don't know what it is, man. I jumped in the scales this morning. I was like, damn, what's going on?
Last two questions.
You have your father managing you. Also, you have a working relationship with Al Heyman.
Yeah.
How hard was it to get you back on HBO?
It wasn't hard, I have a great team. My team, Khan Promotions, and my father and everyone look out for me. Look out for the best interest, and so does Al. I said to Al, this is the fight I want, and Oscar's got in touch with me, so I want the fight, and I was like, look, if you want the fight and you're confident in the fight, I think it's a great fight for you. So if you want it, go get it.
One of your biggest supporters in the boxing world is Adrian Broner. I talked to him this week. He told me that you're going to win, and he tweeted you and everything.
Yeah.
Are you guys friends, or what do you think about him picking you to win?
I mean, with Adrian Broner, it's like it's that love-hate relationship we have, because sometimes we cool with each other, and some days we're not cool with each other. I like Broner, he's a character, and I think boxing needs characters like Adrian Broner, and he's always got my back, and I've always got his back. But then when there's talks about fighting each other, that's when the trash talking starts. But this is just not normal, But a lot of fighters, there's been a lot of fighters who said I'm gonna win this fight, and I'm not let that get to me one bit. I've just stayed focused, and I'm not gonna let it get to me either. This is gonna be a hard fight, I know that, and I'm gonna be 100% focused. It's the biggest fight of my career, and I'm not gonna let it go easy. I'm not gonna let him walk right through me. People are expecting him to walk right through me, and because it is the biggest fight of my life, I'm not gonna let it go easy. I'm gonna give it everything I got.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
What was that plan all about? Fans keep asking me, what was the plan all about in the press conference? The plan? Did you know anything about that? Fans always ask.
The plan was something to do with what was the plan about? The Pope.
Oh, okay.
So the Pope gifted this fight as a peace.
Okay.
So me being a Muslim and Canelo being a Christian, I think it just shows that we're from different religions, but we are promoting peace, and and look, we both fighting each other, boxing each other. It's a sport, and watch come May 7th, the crowd is going to be full of different people from different countries, different cultures, and that's what sport does. Sport brings peace together, and it brings everyone together, and that creates peace. So that's it, man. That's boxing for you, bro.
Donald Trump.
What do you weigh right now? What do you weigh right now?
Me?
What do you weigh right now?
175. I'm joking. Hey, near that. Old overnight, you just don't know. It's hard to say because Floyd's been inactive for a long time now, so I don't know, man. It's hard to say, but I like Danny. I think he's a good fighter, and I think he could win that fight.
Tell all the fans where to follow you on social media.
Social media is Amir Khan. You can watch all the training I'm doing for this fight against Canelo, and my Instagram is Amir Khan. Not Instagram, Snapchat is Amir Khan Boxer, because someone stole Amir Khan.
Alright, back recording. Thanks, Amir.
Did you write your own LinkedIn?
Yeah, I do.
I've written you 5 times, you sacrifice.